Good afternoon, class. So, this afternoon, we will discuss the guide how to uh, formulate the intensive analysis of your assigned industry. So, let me share to you the sample. So, it is the word of, by the way, this is just a sample. So, for example, the agriculture industry, so ito yung cover page. So, the cover page looks like this. So, an intensive analytical case study, agriculture industry. So, if you're assigned for agriculture, so this is yours. And if you're assigned for manufacturing, then of course, this is manufacturing industry in the province of Bukidnon. Then, impartial fulfillment of the requirements of the industrial economic subject. And bantayan niyo ang spacing. And by sino yung mga researcher or group members. Then, submitted to yours truly, your instructor. And this should be May 2021 because the second semester ends in last May 27, so May 2021 ang pizza. So please make sure the font it should be Arial, size 12, and please don't forget the spacing, it should be 1.5. And you must have your it should be the table of contents after the cover page, table of contents, then table of contents. It should be centered, do not bold. Then on the next page should be your list of tables. So whatever your tables in the content should be listed here. Then after on the next page should be your acknowledgement. Then again, please take note of the font and font size as well as the spacing. Then after your list of tables, you may now proceed your chapter 1. Chapter 1 is the introduction part. If you notice in the introduction or chapter 1, the objective of the study is included in the chapter 1. So just copy paste the 4 objectives, 4 objectives given in your study guide. There are 4, so just copy paste ito yon and just write some introductory. Ito, this is the introductory sentence to your objectives. So, i-paraphrase niyo ito para dili maging copy-pasted. Or you can construct your own introductory paragraph of your objectives. Then you may now start your discussion on the first chapter. So, kung inyong mapansin, may subject dito, nakalagda subject. So, ito na yon. So, chapter 1, in our study guide, yung binigay ko last February, just chapter 1, discuss briefly what economic is and what industrial economic is. So just a brief discussion about economics and industrial economics, and do not forget to have a proper citation. If you're using an idea of other authors, then you have to cite to avoid plagiarism. So like this, so it should be properly cited here. Then it should be brief and concise as possible. Then next is if you can just have 1 to 2 paragraph in your brief discussion about economics in industrial economics, then that's better. By the way, this is just a draft, so it's too lengthy. So mas maayos siya kung gamay lang, kasi it should be brief and concise. A brief discussion about economics and industrial economics. Then next is a brief discussion of about the purpose of the subject or the target course outcome of the subject. So yung nasa recalibrated syllabus natin. So just go back to the recalibrated syllabus, yun yung ilagay doon sa kung ano yung target course outcome ninyo. So andito na yan, nakalagay yan dito. And then hindi ko makita, hindi nakalagay dito yung course outcome. So dapat makita yon. Then discuss the relevance of industrial economics to the study of economics. Ito yon. The relevance of industrial economics. So discuss ng grupo. This is from the agriculture industry. So subject for editing pa ito, kasi masyadong mataas. So I already instructed them na i-edit para mapaliit yun. Dapat brief lang. And ang importance ng study of industrial economics sa inyo as a BA economic student. So ayun, for BA economic students, ano ang importansya niya? So ganito, dapat naka-italize or naka-bold para madali lang makita. Then you have to discuss something briefly. Kung ano ang importansya ng industrial economics sa inyo as AB or BE economic students. Then second, ang importance ng industrial economics, the study of industrial economics to Mindanao. So gaano ba yan siya kahalaga? Ba't kailangan nating pag-aralan ang economics? Ano ang pakinabang nito sa Mindanao? And to the Philippine economy. Ano ba ang pakinabang ng study of industrial economics sa Philippine economy? Ito. Then, lastly, ano ang importance or importansya ng study of industrial economics to the Filipino people in general? Ito yan. Ito yung pang-apat. So, kailangan niyo siyang i-discuss ang importance ng industrial economic study. So, wala na number 5 at dapat kasi apat lang yan. Then on the next page, your chapter 2, the main discussion of your industry assigned. So dito nakalagay, may red na line, introduce here your industry in the coverage of your study. So agriculture industry yan, i-introduce niya briefly. What is agricultural industry and ano ang coverage ng inyong industry? So in agricultural industry covers this blah blah blah, the banana plantation, the rice and corn plantation, the pineapple plantation, etc. Do not include or you can also mention the other sector of agriculture industry like livestock and other, but in the next chapter you can skip it out because may naka-assign din doon sa livestock and poultry. So just focus on what is being asked from you. So what is asked is the vegetable, the pineapple, the banana industry, and the corn and rice plantation na i-include sa study of agriculture industry kasi yun yung importante. And you can also include the ano ba yung mga agriculture na andito sa Bukidnon. So merong rubber plantation, merong palm tree. So kung may coconut din, isalin nyo din. And then, in your guide, nakalagay dito, this brief discussion about your assigned industry from national down to local level. So, you discuss briefly what is agricultural economics in the national level in the context of the national level. So brief lang kasi ang main focus naman natin based on our objective is on the provincial level. So doon sa national level, konting discussion lang. Ano ang kondisyon, anong sitwasyon ng inyong industry? So in this example, the agriculture industry, what is the current situation faced by the agriculture industry in the Philippines? So i-discuss nyo lang konti, ito kulang ito. And then, pag tapos nyo na i-discuss yung sa national level, discuss the local level. So ano ba ang kasalukuyang pangyayari or the current situation of the faced by the agriculture industry in the Bukidnon? So dito yon i-discuss ninyo. So brief and concise as much as possible. Kasi economics has to be not too lengthy, not too wordy. We have to do things or we must deliver output as brief and concise as possible. Direct to the point. Huwag yung marami pang paligoy-ligoy pa. Kaya nga sa guide ninyo, nakalagay na brief discussion. And then, so ito yung example. Sa agriculture industry, just a brief overview. Kumusta yung corn farming dito sa Bukidnon? So just a brief discussion on corn production, corn farming, rice farming, a brief overview about that, then the pineapple industry. You can talk or you can describe something about this sector. Then banana industry, vegetable, and you can add more kung ano pa yung nakita ninyo. Or you can just simply put here others. Then we discuss, for example, the palm oil and the rubber plantation. So just an overview. So you must put it here. So again, it will depend on your assigned industry. This is just a guide, so just focus on your assigned industry. This may be changed depending on your industry assigned. Then next is you must discuss the agencies of the government assigned or mandated by law to supervise and or regulate your industry assigned. In the case of agriculture industry, but before we identify the agencies, then let us check first the legal foundation. Ano ba yung mga batas or provisions of the law na magpapatibay at magpapatunay na iyong industry na yan is well covered by this agency and covered by this law. So, mga legal foundation ito. If you notice, this output or this example talks about fisheries because actually the content is actually from the fishing industry. Idiba ko lang konti doon when the agriculture industry had the consultation with me with their output. So binigyan ko sila ng something guide. So that's why the content of this output was mostly from the fishing industry kasi ang fishing industry yung nakatapos na although that was subject for editing kasi may mga data din na kulang. So kung makita ninyo, it talks about laws. The Philippine Environment Code of 1988 provides the foundation for all measures dealing with Philippines' natural environment, encompassing the management of air quality, water, land use, natural resources, and waste. Ito pa, the Philippine Fisheries Code. So may mga batas na na-cite dito. So these are the legal foundation related to your industry assigned. So again, this legal foundation is for the fishing industry, not for agriculture industry, okay? Just don't be misled. So after the legal foundation here, ano-ano nga ba yung mga government agencies supervising your industry? In the case of agriculture industry, so first of course the Department of Agriculture because this is for agriculture industry. Do not be confused kung bakit fisheries code. Again, the content is actually for the fisheries fishing industry. That's why it's fisheries food. But the subtitles is for the agriculture industry because again, I just give this sample to the um, agriculture industry. So the first supervising agency of the agriculture industry is of course the Department of Agriculture. Here, you have to define or you have to describe what is Department of Agriculture and the mandate of the Department of Agriculture as to the implementation of the laws, as to implementation of agricultural development program of the nation, how it supervise the agriculture industry in the Philippines. Then the second one, of course, because this is for food, agriculture is for food, therefore the National Food Authority. So again, do not be misled the Bureau of Fisheries because again, this the content of this output is from the fishing industry. But here you have to describe again what is NFA or the National Food Authority, its mandate, and how it supervises the conduct of business of the food production in the Philippines. The next is SEC. Why there is SEC in agriculture industry? You have to think on your industry. May SEC ba na nag-regulate? Take note, sino-sino at ano-ano ba yung gina-regulate ng SEC? If you are a company, of course, you are under the regulation of the Securities and Exchange Commission. By the way, when you are writing your output, your draft, do not abbreviate. Dapat nakaspell out yan. Not NFA but National Food Authority and Securities and Exchange Commission do not abbreviate. Then again, you have to state here what is the participation of SEC in your assigned industry. If your industry is not supervised by the Securities and Exchange Commission, then do not include SEC. This is applicable only for the corporation or the non-profit organization. If your industry is under a supervised or regulated by the Department of Trade and Industry, then it's DTI. So you must depend on your of your industry assigned. Magkaiba-iba ang government agency na nag-supervise sa mga firm depending on your industry assigned. Then ano nga pa ba yung mga government agency regulating or supervising your industry? So nilagay ko ito DTI. Check nyo. Ano nga ba ang participation ng DTI sa agriculture industry? Meron nga ba? Kung wala din, delete. Kung wala siyang participation ang DTI sa agriculture industry, then delete. But kung meron, then dapat meron. Then i-justify ninyo. Bakit nga ba? Sa anong paraan may participation ang DTI sa agriculture industry? Remember, DTI is trade and industry. So, i-justify ninyo. Then think more. Meron pa bang government agency na possible na nag-regulate and supervise your industry? CDA, for example, if there is cooperative farming, baka merong mga farmers cooperative dito sa Bukidnon or sa Pilipinas, then CDA is there, the Cooperative Development Authority. But pag makita nyo sa data na walang cooperative farming or farmers cooperative dito sa Pilipinas, then walang CDA. Pero I am pretty sure that meron kasi merong farmers cooperative sa amin. So technically, merong CDA. check nyo dito sa Bukidnon kung meron bang farmers cooperative. Kung wala din, yun, may issues and concerns na kayo, may pwede na kayong may realization na kayo, baka naman may maitutulong ang CDA for the improvement and development of agriculture industry in Bukidnon. Baka may kapakipakinabang para sa industriya ng agrikultura kung may kooperatiba ang mga magsasaka dito sa Bukidnon. So i-justify ninyo. And then check nyo kung meron pa ba aside from the five agencies na na-mention natin. Kung wala na, then it's just so. If pag meron pa, then idagdag. Ang importante, ma-justify ninyo. Ma-defend ninyo na ang mga government agency na yan has something to do with your industry. Then, the theories and concepts. Ano nga ba ang konsepto ng inyong industry? Then you just write it here. The concepts of agriculture industry. Pero again, huwag kayo magtaka. This is fishing industry din. Yung kanina is agriculture. Kasi again, the content is from the fishing industry. So, para hindi kayo malito. The concept of fishing industry. Fishing industry is a sector of food industry engaged in the catching of fish, seals, whales, marine, so on and so forth. So just cite the concepts, brief. Then here, the theories applicable in your industry. So fishing, it's about fishing because again, the content of this presentation is from fishing industry. Then next, the last part of the chapter 2 is the definition of terms. So what are the important terms to be defined? So tingnan ninyo sa inyong output. For the entire output, by the way, pag hindi nyo pa ito na finalize ang output niyo, meaning madagdagan pa itong mga mga terms na dapat niyo i-define. Ano nga ba ang Department of Agriculture sa department niyo? Ano nga ba yung fishing industry? And take note lang, dapat naka-alphabetical yan. So ito, mali na. Alin nga ba ang mauna? Ang technology or ang department? So mali na ito. So again, definition of terms must be alphabetical. So ito, so may mali ha. O may letter B pa. So may mga mali. Then methods. Ano nga ba ang methods na gigamit ninyo pagkuha sa mga data? So ito, I told them already na mali itong ginamit nila na method. So huwag niyong pansin. Basta dito na portion, discuss here briefly kung paano ninyo nakuha yung mga data or anong ginamit ninyo. Are you using secondary data? Are you using primary data? Nag-interview ba kayo? Then how did you analyze your data? So discuss briefly here. Do not discuss it thoroughly. Just a brief discussion on your methods kasi this is only an analytical case study, not an economic research. So yun yung kaibahan niya. Konting discussion lang dito sa methods. Then, chapter 3. Ito na yung business model and operation. Here, kailangan na kayo ng mga data. Ano nga ba so go away tayo sa concept ng agriculture ha, kasi the content here is from fishing industry na jud. So, ano nga ba yung business models and operation strategies ng fishing industry? So first, you have to know, ano nga ba yung market structure ng fishing industry? According to the researcher, the group of Hirada, the group of Pistadios, kasi sa kanila ito, fishing industry is a monopolistic competition. Tama nga ba? So, let's find out. So, i-defend nila yan. So, yon. Tingnan ninyo kung anong market structure na belong ang industry ninyo. Then, market concentration. Market concentration, this has something to do with the market sharing. So, i-discuss nyo lang. In your industry, kasi may mga large, medium, small firms yan. In your industry, is it dominated by large firms? Is it dominated by small and medium enterprises? So, discuss nyo with data. Kaya dito kailangan na kayo ng data. By the way, discuss later. In your data, dapat may data kayo national and may data kayo provincial. So, kailangan nyo bantayan first, ilan nga ba ang contribution or i-request niyo ito sa provincial government? Ilan nga ba ilang porsyento nga ba ang contribution ng inyong industry sa gross provincial domestic product? Kasi ang gross domestic product, mayroon naman yan sa national government data. Pwede nyo na yung makuha sa website ng PSA at saka NEDA and sa agency nga nag-supervise ng inyong industry. Meron yan. Ang problema na lang natin is dito sa provincial level. Kaya yun yung i-request ninyo sa provincial government or provincial level na may hawak na mga data na yan. So first ninyong i-request na data, how much is the percentage share of your industry to the total gross provincial domestic product? Yun yung first. Second, you must know the number of firms operating in Bukidnon for that particular industry. So, i-dissect nyo muna yan. Kung if you are into agriculture, then i-subdivide niyo vegetable, pineapple, and so on and so forth. If you are into automotive, then dali lang. The large and small firm. And take note then, kailangan nyo either any of all industries assigned, dapat makuha ninyo ang data, the number of firms operated by private sector and the number of firms operated by the public sector. Again, number of firms operated by the private sector and the number of firms operated by the public or the government sector. Kasi dyan natin malalaman kung is your industry assigned nationalized or privatized. If mayroong nationalized diyan, try to find out kung from the start ba is owned by and operated ba yan ng gobyerno or it underwent the process of nationalization or it went the process of privatization. For example, in the banking industry, PNB before was owned by the government of the Republic of the Philippines, but it was sold and privatized. So sino na ngayon ang may-ari ng PNB? So private person na. So it underwent to the process of privatization. So again, sa example sa banking industry, meron kayong data. Ito yung mga bangko. Then ito yung mga bangko na owned and run by the government. Then ito yung mga bangko na owned and run by the private sector. So for example, owned and run by the government until nowadays, Land Bank, Development Bank of the Philippines, ano pa ba? Meron pa ba? So kung wala na din, just the two. And identify the other banks owned by the private sector. And yun, malalaman mo na kung is the banking sector owned and operated by the government or owned and operated by the private sector. So malaman nyo ang detalye ngayon yan. And sa other industry, then you have to find the data. All discussions here from starting chapter 1 should be based on your data acquired or collected, either from interview, either from primary data, or from from a secondary data taken or from the website of the legitimate sources. For example, website of the government agencies. Then, so masyadong mataas. Brief lang. Then, kunin ninyo yung meron naman kayong number of firms na meron na kayong percentage share sa industry ninyo doon sa gross provincial domestic product. Then, kunin nyo din yung revenue collection. Magkano nga ba? If walang data, then be it. Just do the analysis based on the available data. Kasi ano bang magawa natin pag wala talagang available na data? So hindi naman pwedeng ikutin nyo yan isa-isa. So whatever the available data, then stick to it. Do the analysis based on the available data. So when you talk about revenue, then na siya yung mga year na involved. So in this case, 2017, 2018, 2019. So kinuha nila yung production of fish from 2017 to 2019. So makuha nyo na yung supply. Makuha nyo na yung supply and then makuha nyo na din yung demand. Kasi may revenue naman kayo na ihingiin doon sa gobyerno. So yun ang kailangan nyong bantayan. Hanapin nyo ang data. Ano nga ba ang mga data na kailangan nyong kunin para makuha ninyo ang demand and supply sa produkto ng inyong industry? Kasi yun yung pinaka-bottom line natin. The demand and supply of your products. Then again, na-mention ko na kanina, the nationalization and privatization. Is your industry owned 100% by the private sector? Just like the automotive industry, I'm sure. This is owned by the private sector kasi walang gobyerno nagpapatakbo ng automotive firm. Unless meron dito sa Bukidnon or meron kayong nalaman sa ibang probinsya o ibang region na may mga LGU na nagpapatakbo ng automotive firms. So if meron, then cite it, then justify. If none, then just say so na 100% of automotive industry is owned by the private sector. But just like the banking sector, alam natin na may mga firm na owned and operated by the government and meron din private. So, kailangan din data dito. Ilan nga ba? Ilang bangko nga ba ang owned and operated by this? By the government and by the private sector. And pag makuha nyo ang capitalization, the better. If hindi nyo makuha, then leave it. Then dito, in your industry, just ask. In my industry, advertising is necessary. Kailangan ba ang advertising sa industry ko? Doon dito sa Bukidnon, sa tourism industry, nagkausap na kami ng grupo. Yon. May mga lugar dito na tiyada. May mga tourist destination na magaganda. But even some of you from Bukidnon, hindi pa nga alam yon. May mga areas na hindi pa na-develop, hindi ninyo alam. So, yung grupo na yon told me, yung tanong ko, ba't hindi niyo alam na may ganito sa Bukidnon? Ang sagot sa akin, kasi sir, hindi namin alam na meron yan. So, sabi nila, kailangan talaga ng advertising para malaman para malaman natin ang tourist spot ng Bukidnon. Ayun, issues and concerns. Kailangan pala ng advertising. How about the other industry? Kailangan ba ng advertising? If yes, why? And if no, why? Ano nga ba ang maitutulong ng advertising in your industry? Yun. Sa mining industry, kailangan ba ang advertising? If yes, then why? If no, then why? In banking industry, kailangan ba ang advertising or not? So, i-justify ninyo. Again, ano ba ang maitutulong ng advertising for the benefits or for development or improvement of your industry? So, yon. And then, investment. Balik tayo sa tourism industry. Bakit may mga tourist destination dito na hindi pa napupuntahan? Ang sagot, sinagot ako, kasi sir, walang kalsada papunta doon. Ayun, walang investment. On the part of the government, walang budget para i-develop ang kalsada papunta doon. So, hindi na-develop. Second, walang investment para i-develop ang tourist destination na yon. So, ang tanong, kailangan ba ng investment to improve the tourism industry in Bukidnon? If yes, then why? If no, then why? So just take note lang. May sulat niyo yan doon sa issues and concerns. May nagsagot din, sir, walang nag-invest doon kasi problema sa peace and order. Ayun, that's an issue and concern of your industry. So because there is a problem of peace and order, kailangan ba ng investment? Do we need to invest in that particular tourist spot, potential tourist spot, considering that there is a problem of peace and order? If yes, then why? And if no, why? Ganun lang. Kaya siya analytical. You have to analyze. Okay? Then, business strategy tayo. Ano nga ba ang mga strategy na ginagawa or ginagamit ng inyong industry? Sabi dito ng agriculture, invest in technological innovation and transfer. Mag-invest daw sila sa technological innovation. Invest on technology. Oo nga naman. Kasi kailangan natin mag-adapt ng makabagong teknolohiya sa pagsasaka. Ano pa ba? Pwede bang maging cooperativism or ano pa ba, may mga consortium or commercial farming. So dito nyo in this part, mas maganda kung maka-interview kayo ng mga farmer. So sa sample na ito, I didn't see tama na ito or mali. Ang sabi ko sa kanila, i-review muna, then tapusin, then check kung tama ba ang mga strategies na nilagay nila dito. Pwede din yung in your industry, pwede ninyong matanong-tanong yung mga may-ari. Ano nga ba yung ginagamit niyo ng mga strategy in your business? May posible din kasi na may mga loyalty cards, may mga sa tourism industry may advanced booking, intensive marketing, intensive advertising, farming, may organic farming, may inorganic farming, may commercial farming. So, magdepende yan. Maraming strategy depending on your industry. Diyan nyo malalaman. Kaya pala ito yung problema sa industry namin kasi ganito, ganito. So, masabi nyo din, dapat ganito, dapat ganyan. Diyan papasok ang pagiging ekonomista ninyo. May mga realization na based on your data, based on your discovery, may mga ma-realize kayo. So, makita ninyo yung problema. Then, kasi nakita nyo na yung problema, gagana yung critical thinking skills ninyo. Sabi nyo, bakit ganyan yung ginawa nila? Bakit ganyan yung policy ng gobyerno? Dapat ganito, dapat ganyan. Yan yun. Okay, so let's continue. Next of your business strategy, the technological change and competition. You just simply narrate here, is there any technological advancement or technological change in your industry? Wala nga ba? Andon pa ba kayo sa primitive style? For example, gaming industry. Kasali kasi sa gaming industry yung sabong. Dati, physikalan lang talaga yan. Ngayon, may online sabong na. Banking industry, we have been through with monetary economics last semester. Alam natin paano nagbago yung banking industry. May mga credit cards na, may mga debit cards na. So ano-ano nga ba yung mga technological changes, technological advancement nag-underwent ang industry ninyo? So i-discuss ninyo. Then, you discuss your competitors. Huwag niyong pansinin dito masyado itong content. On your competitors, i-discuss ninyo, for example, sa tourism industry. May industry ba nga nag-compete sa tourism industry? If yes, ano yun? If wala, bakit? And kung walang industry na nag-compete sa industry ninyo, tawag nito, for example sa tourism industry, then what is the direct competitor of your industry? The direct competitor of industry, tourism industry in Bukidnon is not an industry inside Bukidnon, but the geographic competition. For example, ano nga ba ang kakumpetensya ng tourism industry ng Bukidnon? Is the tourism industry of the other probinsya, other region? Kasi hindi nga alam ng ibang tao nga merong Nasuli Beach Resort dito. May mga magagandang falls dito. So paano magpunta doon dito ang mga turista na hindi taga Bukidnon, nga kayo nga taga Bukidnon, hindi nga alam ang mga tourist destination na ito. So if I am a turista, I might go to Camiguin, I might go to Surigao, I might go to Davao, I might go to Lake Cebu o Cotabato. Kasi hindi ko alam na merong, I only know is the Hilayan and the RR and ano pa yun. So yun. So dyan papasok ang advertising. So medyo related talaga siya, competitors, advertising, investment. So kaya siya intensive analytical case study kasi i-analyze natin. Again, that's the competitor. So sa automotive industry, ano nga ba ang competitor? The firm to firm. So within the industry, so okay rin yan. We're not talking about firms. We're talking about industry. So ano kaya ang competitor ng automotive industry? So same thing with tourism. The automotive industry outside Bukidnon. For example, walang shop dito for 10-wheelers truck. So normal, walang magpa-repair kasi walang repair shop. Unlike the agriculture and livestock, fishing, it's somehow competing each other. Kasi pag ayoko kumain ng gulay, pwede akong kakain ng isda or pwede akong kakain ng karne. So the demand of vegetable is affected by the demand of karne and isda. That's the taste and preference of the consumer. So competitor yan sila. Industry to industry. Aside from the geographic competitors na doon sa kabilang probinsya o kabilang bayan or kabilang rehiyon. So may mga industry na may competition industry to industry within Bukidnon. May mga industry din na ang kakompetensya is doon lang sa kabilang probinsya. Okay, let's continue. Environmental degradation. Environmental degradation mitigation program and effectiveness. Tagalin itong effectiveness. Environmental degradation mitigation program. So, for example, sa poultry, ano nga ba ang environmental mitigation niyan? Environmental degradation niyan? Mabaho. maraming langaw, may mga epekto sa kalusugan yan. So ano ba ang ginagawang programa ng industry ninyo? Ano nga ba ang mga technological advancement na in-apply ng inyong industry? Kamakailan lang I went to Kadingilan and I observed how the organic farming was conducted there. So ako mismo nakita ko na yung poultry nila at saka yung livestock walang amoy. So posible dyan organic or organic farming, ano pa ba? Vermiculture, para yung mga waste or mga dumi niya is ginawang fertilizer. Tapos may mga application pa ng mga teknolohiya ng ibang bansa na ginagamit para mamitigate yung basura, mamitigate yung amoy, pangangamoy. Sa mining industry, reforestation, kasi sinira ng mining industry ang kalikasan. Most of the mining industry, ano nga ba ang ginagawa nila? May batas din diyan. So pwede ninyong i-quote. Ano nga ba ang required by law gagawin ng inyong industry or gawin ng mining industry for example or your industry? Ano nga ba ang required ng batas na gagawin ninyo para maibsan yung environment effect ng inyong industry? Yun, yung Environmental Degradation Mitigation Program. And then, corporate social responsibility. It is mandated by law na yung mga corporation natin is mayroong CSR or corporate social responsibility. So ano yun? Diyan ninyo iisa-isa. It is quite related to Environmental Degradation and Mitigation Program. Related lang yan sila. Dito kasi na-institutionalize na lang ang program dito. For example, pwede dito annual reforestation program. So magtaniman ng kahoy. So naka-annualize or foundation, charity foundation, or extension program, regular quarterly feeding. O so ano-ano pa ba? I-cite ninyo. What are the corporate social responsibility adopted and implemented by your industry? Kasi lahat yang industry na yan, meron talaga yan. Transportation industry, meron din yan, dapat. Kasi the transportation industry is isa yon sa pinakagrabing nag-pollute ng atmosphere natin. So ano ba ang corporate social responsibility nila? Meron ba or wala? Kung wala, then you have to think kung ano ang dapat. Kasi mag-recommend na kayo. Kung dito sa Bukidnon, wala palang corporate social responsibility ang transportation industry, then recommend something. Okay. Yun. So, philanthropy sa fishing ito. So, hindi ko na yan isa-isahin. Then dito sa chapter 4, no, ito, gina-analyze nyo na data presentation and analysis based on your chapter 3. Actually, chapter 3 is just a mere discussion on your business model and operation. In the chapter 4, the analysis of your data. Kaya sa chapter 4, first ninyo i-analyze the statistical data of your assigned industry. Magkano nga ba yung demand and supply? baka na overproduction ang vegetable dito sa Bukidnon kasi ang mga tao pala sa Bukidnon ayaw mangain ng gulay. Or baka short. Baka mahilig sa gulay ang mga tao sa Bukidnon pero walang nagtanim ng gulay. Or baka mahilig sa pork ang Bukidnon pero walang pigiri. Or baka naman walang mahilig sa pork dito kasi bawal. By virtue of culture, in tradition, bawal ang pork. Tapos maraming pigiri. So may overproduction ngayon. So issues and concerns again. So data analysis from national level. So sabi ko kanina, the gross domestic product na makikita ninyo sa website ng NEDA, ng PSA, ilang porsyento nga ba ang share ng inyong industry? So sabi natin, i-identify ninyo, ilagay nyo sa table na ito yung gross domestic product ng industry namin, ng tourism industry. Then makita ninyo from year 2015 to, so every year yan, 2015 to 2020, ito yun. So makita ninyo, hanggang 10% lang pala ang contribution namin. Hanggang 20% lang pala ang contribution ng industry namin sa overall na gross domestic product ng Pilipinas. Baba tayo sa provincial level. Ang liit-liit lang pala of the entire economy ng probinsya ng Bukidnon. We just contributed 10%. Makita, why we just contributed 10% to the entire provincial economy of Bukidnon na mayroon mga magagandang tourist destination dito. Yan, malalaman niyo. Masagot niyo agad kasi may mga data kayo. Kasi walang investment, kasi walang advertising. Bakit pa? Kasi nga kayo nga taga Bukidnon, hindi niyo alam. Mayroong false. Ako nga may sabangan dito. Hindi ko nga alam yan. Kung hindi ako nagpunta dito sa Bukidnon, hindi ko alam na may mga ganyan pala. Ang alam ko lang is ang dahilayan. Kasi na-advertise yan. So, i-analyze ninyo the supply and demand of your industry. Diba? So, yun, diniscuss ko kanina. Dapat malaman ninyo ang detalye, ang data ng supply and demand ng inyong industry para ma-analyze natin. Eksakto lang ba ang production ng inyong industry sa demand ng mga consumer sa produkto ng inyong industry? Kulang ba or sumobra? So kung kulang, anong gawin? Kung sobra, anong gawin? So yun. Ma-discuss na natin ang aggregate market equilibrium ng inyong industry. Tama lang ba? Meron bang shortage on production or merong surplus of production ng inyong industry? Meron pa bang potential na i-improve natin ang share ng inyong industry? Well, just imagine. What if lahat kayo or lahat ng industry i-increase yung kanilang production, i-increase yung kanilang share doon sa probinsya, sa gross provincial domestic product? Anong mangyayari? Lolobo yung ekonomiya ng Bukidnon. Lolobo yun. So, economic growth and development ang kinalabasan diyan. So, napaka-importanting pag-aralan natin ang industry ninyo. Then, what are the economic benefits of your assigned industry? Ano nga ba ang mga benepisyo nito sa ekonomiya?
May mga labor intensive. May mga industry na labor intensive. May mga industry na though hindi siya labor intensive, pero of course naman, wala man siguro industry na pinatatakbo ng robot. So again, employment, revenue, income. So example na yan sa economic benefits. Ano pa ba? Just discuss. What are the economic benefits of your industry? Hindi ko na kailangan isa-isahin yan. Then second, ay last sa chapter 4. What are the issues and concerns of your assigned industry? Yun, may mga na-mention na tayo kanina. Sa tourism industry, kulang pala ng investment. Kaya hindi na-develop yung falls asa ba yung banda. Maganda yun. Akala ko nga Maria Cristina Falls yun. Sa picture ko lang nakita. Hindi ko alam kung saan yan. Saan yan? Saan dadaan para makapunta doon? Kasi walang investment. Walang budget from the government. O bakit ba? Bakit ba't walang budget? Ano ang dahilan? So isulat ninyo, yun ang issues and concerns. So mayroong problema sa peace and order doon. May problema sa right of way doon kaya hindi mapagawa ng kalsada kasi yun, minsan problema din yan pag hindi magpirma yung mga landowner. And may solution ba diyan? Meron. So yun. May mga improved na or mga existing na mga tourist destination. Ba't wala? O ba't kaming mga taga Davao hindi namin alam yan? Or baka ako lang. Ba't ba't di natin alam yan? Kasi hindi na-advertise. So, kailangan pala ng advertising. Doon baka may mga industry diyan na masyadong mababa yung minimum wage. O problema din yan, the minimum wage. Baka the cost of living, kailangan natin para mabuhay tayo ng maayos, kailangan natin na 600 per day, for example. Tapos yung sweldo nyo lang is 150 per day. So, patay. So, another issues and concerns. Ano pa ba? The globalization sa agriculture industry. Pagkat ng tariff on agricultural product, ayan, problema yan. Yung BIMP Iaga, part tayo ng BIMP Iaga. Kasi we are in Mindanao. The moment ma-open ang East Asia Growth Area, ayun, malayang papasok ang kalakalan ng mga bansang nasa silangang bahagi ng Southeast Asia. Patay yung mga industry, yung mga maliliit na industry natin. So yun, tingnan niyo kung ano ba ang mga problemang kinahaharap ng inyong industry. Doon naman sa automotive. Meron ngang mga machine shop. Pero wala naman yung mga malalaking machine shop na pwede mag-repair ng mamalaking sasakyan. O problema yun. May mga machine shop nga, pero baka naman, yung mga mekaniko natin, yung makalumang pamamaraan pa. Problema yan. So anong gawin? Training, seminars, partnership with TESDA. Mga ganyan. So ano ba ang mga issues and concerns na kinaharap ng inyong industry? Okay. Let's move forward. So chapter 5 talks about realization and observation. Meron na kayong data na present nyo na. Ito na yung business operation and strategy. Tapos data. May realization na kayo. Kaya pala maliit lang yung contribution ng tourism industry sa Bukidnon, samantalang napakaganda ng lugar, napakaganda ng view dito. Pero maliit lang yung contribution ng tourism industry. For example lang kasi I am not saying na ito yung totoo talaga kasi wala pa tayong data eh. But for example, it will come out na ganyan lang kaliit ang contribution ng tourism industry pero ang potential niya is napakalaki. With your data analysis and presentation, magkaroon kayo ng realization. Wala kasing investment, wala kasing dumarayon na investor to develop the tourist spot. Ano ngayon? Anong problema ngayon? Try to check. Baka wala pa kayong investment incentive code. Baka kulang ng investment in tourism promotion. Check nyo din yan. Baka, yun, yung advertising. So, ma-realize nyo yan. Nakita nyo yan. So, yun yung ma-obserba ninyo. So, ito, ilagay nyo lang. 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs will do. Kasi realization and observation na ito. Then, baka may ma-realize kayo on the strategies. Kulang yung strategy ng ng industry namin. So, mga realization lang yan in observation. Dito sa conclusion and recommendation, here you will conclude. Kaya pala, ito na. Kaya pala maliit lang yung fish production kasi walang dagat. Wala naman talagang dagat ang Bukidnon. Pero, ano nga ba ang dapat gawin? Kaya pala kulang ang fish production sa Bukidnon kasi walang nag-invest on inland fish farming. Walang palaisdaan. Bakit kaya? Ano kaya ang problema? So nakita nyo kanina sa issues ng concern. So dito sa conclusion, kaya pala, dito na. So yun, kaya pala, ganito ang problema. Ito lang yung condition, ito lang yung sitwasyon namin, ito lang yung standing. The right term is standing. Ito lang yung standing namin sa industry namin kasi aside from wala kaming dagat, walang nag-invest or baka mas pinili pa nila na yung business na yun ang gawin kasi profitable. Then recommendation, ano ang dapat gawin? Kasi whether we like it or not, tayong mga andito sa Bukidnon ngayon, whether we like it or not, kakain tayo ng isda. So papasok kayo diyan ang comparative advantage. Maganda bang mag-angkat lang tayo sa coastal province or sadyang dapat mag-invest tayo para magkaroon tayo ng palaisdaan? Ano ang pwedeng dapat gawin? So, yun, recommendation. And same thing with the other industry, mining. Meron bang mining site dito? Meron bang possible or potential ba ang Bukidnon for mining? Or baka may mga programa sa gobyerno ipinagbabawal yung mining. Pwede ba ang mining sa Bukidnon? So yung mga ganyan, recommendation. Ano nga ba ang mas mabigat? Ano ba nga ba ang mas tama? Based on your data. Kasi may analysis man tayo, may portion man tayo sa ating analysis yung environmental degradation. Paano naman kayo mag-mining kung wala naman talagang imimina? Yun. Sadya bang walang iimimina? Mining is mining limited to gold mining? O yung mga ganyan. So ano ba ang dapat gawin? Ayun na yun. Mag-recommend na kayo. And huwag kalimutan, sa pinaka-last na portion sa recommendation, mag-recommend kayo na this study na dapat may mga study pa na gagawin in relation to your study para ma-continue yung study nyo. Kung ano yung kulang, may kaugnay or may another study pa related to your study para kung ano yung kulang sa study ninyo makita pa. Kasi intensive analytical case study, ito kasi dapat mag-una kaysa feasibility study or planning or research, kasi the product of analytical case study pwede kasi yung basihan for feasibility study or planning, economic planning or economic research. Kasi diyan man natin malaman kulang pala ng investment ang tourism. Tingnan kaya natin ang willingness to pay or willingness to pay ng mga turista or willingness to travel ng mga turista. 'Di ba? Problema din 'yan. So, may mga gap of knowledge na din. So, 'yan yung triggering for research. So, yung output ninyo sa case analysis or sa intensive analytical case study maging triggering for economic research or for planning. Ano nga ba ang dapat gawin para ma-improve itong industry? Magpa-plan na kayo. May planning na nagagawin. Baka kulang ang firm. Malaki ang demand. Malaki ang demand ng ito. Malaki ang ano ba pwede natin i-example? Malaki ang demand sa pork and beef dito sa Bukidnon. Pero kulang ang supply. Diba? There is imbalance between production and consumption of beef and pork in Bukidnon. May kakulangan sa supply. Therefore, gagawa tayo ng feasibility study for poultry and for livestock piggery. Diba? Your output of your analytical case study can be used for feasibility study, economic planning, and economic research. Kaya sa last portion ng inyong recommendation, make 1 or 2 paragraph recommending recommending another study related to your industry para maipagpatuloy kung ano man yung kakulangan sa study ninyo and para din ma-update kasi from time to time nag-aiba yung data na yan. So that's the end of the chapter 6. Then references. Ito, mali ito ha. Dapat alam niyo kung paano maglagay ng reference. It should be APA format. Actually, economics, business, and accountancy, dapat hindi tayo APA format. Pero, dapat Harvardian tayo. Pero since ang nakasanayan is APA format, then let's follow. References must be written in APA format. So, mali ito. Naka-APA format. Then, appendices. First nyong i-attach as appendix is yung format and guide. Yung binigay ko. Ito. Yung study guide and format, yun yung first ninyo na ilagay. Tapos, second appendix B is Siyempre, may mga letter kayo requesting data from the government. So yun, i-attach ninyo. Yun yung Appendix B. Appendix C is the profile of the researcher and the profile of the instructor. Kasi kailangan yan. The reliability and the credibility of your output somehow partly depend on the researcher. And of course, the instructor. Reliable ba yung study? Sino ba yung nag-research? Baka naman, ang study ninyo is about industrial economics. Tapos, yung student pala is nasa ibang field. So, paano ngayon yan? So, ma-question ngayon ang reliability and credibility ng inyong output. And itatanong din, sino ba ang instructor? So, kailangan, you cannot teach the subject if you're not expert of that subject. If you are from the other field of discipline, then you cannot teach economics. That is why it is very important to show both profile of the researchers and the instructor handling the subject. Yun yung gamit na. Hindi ilagay lang yan para padagdag ng page, no. May purpose yan. So, I think, klaro? That's all for tonight. I think we consume a lot. I think it's almost 2 hours or ilang minuto ba? But I wish makatulong ito. We are doing this after the end of the semester. So I am hoping na hindi niyo sayangin ang effort natin. I hope makatulong ang video na ito para sa inyong analytical case study. I wish you a luck. And if ever may mga concerns, just consult. Please observe the given schedule for consultation considering nakaka-break na tayo, wala na tayo sa semester. But again, as I committed, I will still be helping you throughout the study. Kahit na naka-summer break na tayo. Thank you. Goodbye and keep safe.